Hey, hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. I'm super excited about it. Before we start with all of that, though, let's say hello to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell with Astro.
I am bombed out of my bird. I am on, what am I on? Painkillers.
Yeah, like hydrocodone.
Like I'm going to be a dope addict soon. I'm going to have to go for the cure. You know, with this roto cuff and the arm, this thing, you know, the wrist. So whatever you get out of me today can be very explosive. We don't know what kind of things my little stoned brain, but I'm loaded right now. Really, I am. I'm flying. What am I taking? Ibuprofen? No.
Hydrocodone.
Who?
Hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone, whatever the frig that is.
Anyway.
Vicodin. That's Vicodin.
It's like Vicodin. So he's got a sprained wrist, arm.
No, I don't have a sprained wrist. I have torn ligaments in my forearm and wrist. And I have torn ligaments in my rotocuff. The pain is not to be believed. And if anybody that's ever had this, they know what I'm talking about. I'm holding a mic, which I shouldn't do because I'm not supposed to hold anything heavier than an apple. Astro, get off me. I can't have you on me, honey. Right now is not the time to lick my hands. Well,
he's so cute.
He's adorable. But get down, Astro. He knows I'm in pain. Dogs are so smart. I mean, he comes to bed with us and he lays and he licks my arm exactly where the pain is. He knows I'm in pain and it upsets him. Dogs are wonderful. I wish people were as nice as dogs, don't you?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I will get through today. Why are we so dark?
I don't know. I'm trying to make us lighter.
But you didn't put the lights on. That's why.
I don't know. We didn't use them last week.
Well, we're very dark. Although on the other screen we're not dark. There we go. Now we're light. Oh, it's so bright.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I like it bright.
Yeah. Okay.
I like bright, especially as beautiful as you are. You look good in the lights.
Beautiful. I'm so bummed.
So what's up, everybody? What's up, chat room? Lots of people in the chat room. Let's say hi. Boomer Mays, football player extraordinaire, has joined us. Cindy Lady Lake, Teresa, she's in Florida. Teresa Saban's in Florida. Angela Joseph, hello. She's in Colorado. I went down.
Angie,
Backpack John is there.
Angie, did you get snow yet?
I don't know. Angie, did you get snow?
Colorado, it snows in July.
Yeah, that's true. It's cold there. Wait, we gotta move this over a little bit.
At least you have a white Christmas. That's nice.
Yes. So what's up, everybody? Thank you. She says we look great, and we're hoping for a speedy recovery for you. So you guys, we have two really fun guests coming on today. We have Brian Bonsall. You guys probably remember him, a huge child actor star, and he was Michael J. Fox's little brother on Family Ties. As well as a ton of movies and TV series. So he's coming on. And then after that, we have Deborah Foreman coming on. All you 80s and 90s people know her. She was the star of Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage, which is like an iconic movie for my generation. And I know for Cindy Lady Lakes too, because she keeps saying she can't wait to see her.
Yeah, and she's been on our show before.
Yeah, she was on our show before.
She's a second timer.
But we had her on in 2016 or 15 or something like that.
She was so good. We're bringing it back.
And she was so good, and I just love her. And this time I researched more about her because she's done a whole bunch of other stuff I didn't even know that she did. She even made a movie with Anthony Perkins.
Wow. What did Angie write?
Angie wrote, "The powers that be have not turned on the snow machines yet. Laugh out loud. We have broken a record. Yeah, Brian. He was at the Colorado Film Festival. Oh yeah, that's our guest. That's coming on, which is nice.
So no snow yet in Colorado.
Nope.
That's great.
60 degrees in Kansas City. It's been cold here, you guys.
Yeah,
it was like 54 last night when I got home. 54. It's cold.
I think nature is getting even with us for being stupid people. That's something that Vicodin said, not me.
Oh, Backcheck John wrote My Chauffeur. Yes, she was in My Chauffeur. That's right, with Sam Jones.
Sam Jones, my guy, my Flash Gordon guy.
I love Flash Gordon. We love Flash Gordon, you guys.
Flash Gordon's my hero, but I love the original one with Buster Larry Crab. The old ones from the 1930s. They're so corny and cheesy, but I love them.
And I went to a house here in Palm Springs. One of our friends invited me because I collect collectibles, and they have the actual what's it called? Stratosphere? Stratosled. They have the actual one they used in the TV show there.
No,
and I got to see
the original
movie.
1930s movie. Anyway,
And Hub Reynolds is here. Hey, Hub, what's up?
We had to get up at 11 o'clock, get in the car, drive to LA to be on the set at 3 o'clock because we were shooting in a bar and we had to use the bar after the bar closed. Well, that shot went on till what, 11 o'clock? 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm devastated. I mean, I'm fainting. I was hurting and I wasn't working. Luckily, I wasn't shooting that day, but I was assisting Jimmy. You know, I ride in with him so he's not alone. I make sure he's okay. Make sure he eats and he drinks and stuff like that. But anyway, it was a rough day. Now we're off today. We're back tomorrow to work. And then Tuesday, I shoot my scene with Sadie Katz. And I'm excited because working with Sadie, for me, is a thrill. The last time I worked with her, I forgot I was working. I was so engrossed with what she was doing that I just stood there looking at her, enjoying it like I was a spectator. And they said, Ron, you're supposed to speak. And I said, how can I? She's spellbinding. Anyway, this time I definitely will speak.
It was so funny too.
Am I allowed to say what I play?
No, not yet. We're gonna make the announcement next week.
I mean, what are they gonna do?
Well, until we announce it into the press.
I know, but what has my character got to do with the price?
It doesn't make any. You're playing a doctor. You can tell him you're playing.
I'm playing a doctor.
There you go.
Okay.
And so
I said to all you guys out there, wouldn't you love to play doctor with Sadie Katz? I know one guy would.
He's not. I don't know if
Dave
Hughes. I don't know if Dave's in the.
Oh my God, Dave's not. I wanted to tell Dave they shot Sadie's nude scenes yesterday, so Dave's going to have
not all of them.
Well, not all of them, but enough nude scenes. And now Dave is going to have a nervous breakdown.
Wait till you see the movie, Dave. You'll love it.
Yeah, it's a good film. I like this film.
She's such a great actress. So last night.
She works easy.
She got a thing from her manager while we were there, and that she needed to like do a quick online audition, and so I helped her with it like during the dinner break, and literally she looked at him and like 4 minutes later she had memorized like 4 pages, and then she did it and she had to like cry, and she just cried on cue, like
on cue. Yeah, she's good at that.
She cried on cue, and then she had to be kind of like a snarky bitch, and then she turned and was like a snarky bitch, and she did it in 2 takes for each one. And we sent it in, and she like did an audition like while we were working on set. It was amazing.
No, Sadie, when the scene that I was in with her, I was a minister marrying her, and she was being jilted at the altar by the boyfriend who thought that she had slept with some guy the night before, but it was a mistake.
Clown Fear.
The film was called. He looked at her cell phone, and somebody wrote on it, "I have your panties," and he thought that they were Sadie's panties from some guy. But what it turned out was it was one of her girlfriends that said she found the panties that she likes and she bought them. So it was a misunderstanding. Anyway, Sadie had to collapse and cave in. She began to shake and her eyes were crying and her voice. She's wonderful. She's an easy actress. She's going to be a superstar. Once she's out of these horror movies and starts really doing the major films, you're going to see a lot of Sadie Katz. And I can't tell you, a nicer person in the world, it doesn't deserve it more than she does.
Actually, Angela just wrote, I watched the best movie the other night called Scorned. 3 minutes in, it's written by some dude and Sadie Katz, and she had a cameo at the end. It's on Tubi, you guys. It's called Scorned. Sadie wrote it. It's one of her big successes.
The movie that I wrote, The Gift of Magic, Sadie's in it, and her part is big, and she plays a real cold, money-hungry, drunken bitch, and she loves the part. No, she said she can't wait to dig into that. I mean, you're going to hate her. When you see the movie, you're going to want to bitch smack her. She's such a no-good, cold, nothing person.
So we're giving a shout out to Roxy. She's our fabulous engineer. She's a little under the weather, so hello, Roxy.
She's under the weather. Hey, I'll send you some Vicodin and you'll be out of the weather. Yeah. You'll be in out of space. What is Vicodin anyway?
It's like
anybody out there know? Is it a muscle relaxer or a painkiller?
No, it's a painkiller.
I took one today for the first time because I'm going to be home. I didn't want to take it while I was out on set because I could fall, or get dizzy or whatever. Because I'm not good at drugs. I never was. I never took drugs in my life. I mean, party drugs. I was never a dope addict. I never could stand it. My body reacts to chemicals like, I guess some people out there know that. Some chemicals make people happy and up. they make me down and depressed. And the drugs that make some people down and depressed make me up and happy. I'm one of those
Yeah,
lucky.
you're exactly opposite of
Well, I
everybody
have
else.
that. I have that chemical imbalance that they talk about. So I don't ever take drugs ever or smoke pot. I can't handle it. Matter. Once years ago, when I was very young, someone said to me, "Why don't you trip with us? We're doing LSD." I said, "You know what? I'm afraid I'll never come back because I'm crazy, and I know a lot of crazy people didn't come back." So I never partook in any of it.
They say that's why you look 40.
Well, it's true. I eat well. I sleep well. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I like a martini every now and then with 4 olives. Vodka straight up, 4 olives. I have one. If I have 2, I burn all the food I'm cooking for my dinner guests. So I've learned now just to have one. I don't drink well. I get drunk I'm a cheap date. I mean, really and truly. When I first met Jimmy, he was, ready to go to bed with me. He was so, hot for that to try it. And I kept saying, "Hey, listen, I don't know you, and I don't do that. I just don't sleep with people I meet a week ago." And it was 3 months later, and I never told Jimmy the secret was give me 4 martinis, and I'll sleep with King Kong.
Yeah.
I am the easiest piece of tramp in the world. I mean, I have no resistance. 4 martinis, I don't even know who I am, or what I'm doing.
So real quick, everybody, because we're going to bring our guest on in just 1 second. You can hear the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell on W4CY Radio, our live show. It's every Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. You can also hear us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, Amazon Prime, and SoundCloud. And we want to thank everybody who tunes in every week.
Aren't we on something else that's important? We're on something you left out that's very important.
No, those are all the main ones.
Oh, there's another one. Anyway, see, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we'll have fun with me today. Today we can really have a good time.
Now they say they know the secret of looking young, martinis.
Well, yeah, before dinner, of course. I'm old-fashioned. I'm from the days of I don't know what, the cocktail hour days. You had cocktails from 6 to 7, and then dinner at 8, and afterwards maybe. Oh, Astro, stop it! That's my little boy, Astro.
There's somebody at the front door or something, or outside walking a dog.
Astro, come here. He's a good watchdog. Too bad he's only 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes. What are you doing? You're going to get the burglars. You're going to attack the burglars. And you're cute. But anyway, so I'm old-fashioned that way. I never drink before 5 o'clock ever.
There you go. All right. So now we're going to bring in our guest.
Okay. Look at this dog.
All right, Roxy, let's bring him in. Here we go, everybody. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Jimmy and Ron, thanks for having me.
Hey,
Merry Christmas
awesome
to you. What a beautiful
Merry Christmas.
treat.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Well,
there you go.
Merry Christmas right now. Happy holidays later. That's a beautiful Christmas. You decorated it?
Thank you. Yeah, we can only decorate the top half because of my 2-year-old son who steals the ornaments.
Oh, Jimmy does that all the time. Jimmy's always feeling balls.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I have to control him. I kept saying, "Jimmy, leave the balls alone,"
It's like funny. So hold on. Let's do an actual.
Oh, but you got to be
intro.
careful with your kids. I agree with you. When my daughters were very young, I never had the first 2 rows with lights.
Yeah.
Because the kids have a tendency of biting on the light bulbs.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen him try to do that.
No, but I've heard stories where kids think it's fruit. They think it's candy.
Yeah, I mean, we try to work on just not touching it at all, but it's kind of hard.
No, it is.
He's adorable.
Having kids, not easy. You got to be careful. You got to watch everything. I was neurotic anyway.
Yeah.
One of those crazy dads. I'm sure you are too, but it's good.
Yeah, at times for sure.
What do you got? What do you got, boys or girls?
I have one boy.
Okay. He'll love you for being neurotic. When he's old, he'll say, "My dad was neurotic, but I loved him for being neurotic."
Trying to find a healthy balance of that,
No, stay crazy. No,
got to learn hard lessons, but at the same time, you can't help but keep tabs on him every second.
So you guys, listen up.
One thing I want to say, you got to watch him. I taught my daughters from birth that drugs are bad.
Yeah.
And my daughters never took drugs or smoked cigarettes.
Well, I think my son's got a pro to teach him that. So
Yes.
Good.
I
I'm
want
glad.
to, I want to teach him not to go down some of the same paths that I went down at one time.
Oh, well, you were a dummy, so don't make your kid a dummy.
So hold on, you guys. If you want to see how adorable his son is, you can follow Brian on Instagram. He's at Mr. Brian Bonsall, BrianBonsall, and it's MR for Mr. because he puts all kinds of pictures of his son on Instagram, and he's adorable. He's a
Are
really
you going to
beautiful
put your
kid.
son into business?
I think that's something that he can do if he shows interest in school theater or something like that. It's going to be his decision when he's old enough to make that decision.
That's a wise move. My daughter Deirdre wanted to be an actress. She's a
Nice.
SAG member. She's made a lot of films, and now she wouldn't be in a film if they offered her $1 million. She hates the business. She hates everybody in it. She said, "You're all crazy. I don't want any part of it." So you
I
see,
mean, she's not wrong.
no, she's not. But they really do come into understanding when they're older.
So hold on. I want to do an official introduction. Hey, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented and really cool dude and dad, actor, musician, Mr. Brian Bonsall. Hello and welcome to the show.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Oh, no, it's a
And
pleasure.
this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Who's on Vicodin because of this. So whatever I say, please don't hold me accountable.
Are you getting itchy?
No, Bernie.
Oh,
Burns. I feel like all the nerves are electrical. That somebody's putting electricity into them.
He ripped all the tendons in his like arm and shoulder.
Very painful.
fun. I'm so sorry. I hope you heal up quick.
Well, I hope so too.
And
I usually do.
Now we have a chat room too, which is getting more and more filled up as we go along. So just say hey to everybody in the chat room.
Hey, everybody.
There you
Thanks
go.
for tuning in.
So tell me, are you working?
I am a full-time stay-at-home dad.
You're kidding. You're not working anymore?
I'm not working. I branched. I mean, I've been playing in punk rock bands for about 25 years now, and
I thought you were only like 25. I thought that you only were 25.
Right. So you like?
I turned 40 3 days ago.
Did you really? Oh, happy birthday. Oh my
birthday.
God. I literally thought you were like 28 or something. I didn't
Jimmy,
know you
how
were
could that
40.
be?
No, I am 40 years old.
You look terrific. So everybody, just so you know too, so many years ago when we were at Chiller, it was like 2015 or 16 maybe.
I remember now, and I just wanted to say that. So
you were with, I think it was probably your wife or
Yes.
Your now wife. She probably wasn't your wife then. And you guys were there at Chiller, and I guess that was one of your first autograph signing conventions, and you were over there by the Escape to Witch Mountain people.
I was,
and
it was my first convention. Yeah,
it was your, and so we talked to you like briefly, and everything. And it's funny because we moved. Now we're in Palm Springs. We used to live in Pennsylvania. Now we live in Palm Springs, and I just happened to see your picture. Somebody post a picture with you, and it was actually Angela. Say hi to Angela. She's in the chat room.
Hi, Angela.
She does the
Hope you're doing
Colorado
well.
Convention of Horrors or whatever.
Okay.
And she was like, and I think I saw you a picture with some of those people or something, and I thought, oh my God, I should look him up because we met him, and that's how I reached out to you on Instagram.
But do you want to be on? Do you want to be on film anymore? You don't want film? You prefer music?
If something came along that was right, and I wanted to do it, I think I would definitely dabble in the thought. Music is definitely what I've put most of my energy into. And I was recently, about 2015 to 2018, almost, I was out with a band called the Ataris, touring all over the world, playing guitar.
They're a big band.
Yeah. And
what kind of music is that?
Punk rock. Oh,
it's punk rock.
Yeah. Punk rock.
But they do that Don Henley cover of Boys of Summer, which the crowd loves, and it's on the radio every day, everywhere. But
now, what do you do with this band?
I play guitar,
Okay.
and I've been a fan of the band for 25 years. So when Chris Rowe, the singer and songwriter, hit me up to play in the band, I was just flabbergasted. And he's the coolest guy, and he took me to live my dreams, and it was amazing. And I'm forever grateful.
I love it.
I love your Wonder Woman behind you.
My friend Billy painted that.
Beautiful.
She's an awesome painter.
Very nice.
So what we're going to do is we'll talk a little bit about music now. I want to talk about movie stuff, but I also You were in a band, and we got 2 of the videos, and we're gonna play. I want to play some of them. So, like,
Cool.
I actually, because when we met you, you were talking about music at the convention, and I thought, oh my god, here's like another actor who thinks he can fucking sing, and I was like, I get so sick of it because I'm a publicist, and like I work with like a lot of musicians, like a lot of really big musicians, and so I was thinking, it's gonna be terrible. And then you sent me the videos, and I was like, do I even want to like watch this? Then I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, I don't understand why these guys didn't blow up. Like you,
Well,
like
thank you.
you're really, really good, and it's and very reminiscent of kind of like a lot of the bands from my day because I'm old.
You're old.
And
Your ass is old.
because I'm 57 though, and I was like, oh my god, they're really, really like good, and I think I was super impressed. And
Well,
so maybe
thank you, Jimmy.
we'll play a little bit.
Yeah, and also when I met you, I must have been very tired. Otherwise, you would have remembered meeting me.
Well, Jimmy had said I met you at Chiller, and I thought about it for a little while, and I totally remember meeting you guys now. But like I said, it was my first convention. I was a scatterbrain, and
No, it's okay. We
we
meet
meet
millions
so many
of people.
people.
It's funny though,
We
'cause
meet. You know how many people we meet? You think I can remember them all? They say
I
to
don't
me, "Hi,
blame
how are you?" I say, "Fine." And then they say something about me that's personal. I say, "How did you
it's
know
funny
that?"
though because
They said, "Oh, you told us last time you saw us." I said, "I did."
we actually met John James there. John James was from Dynasty, and he was in your room on the other side of your room,
Right.
and we've stayed in
I
touch with.
interviewed you for a long time.
No,
I
you didn't
think.
interview him.
Did I interview
No,
him?
we didn't interview him.
You sure?
No, because he was like kind of like busy because he's like a popular guy. Like all the people like him. So we met John James there though, and now we've kept in touch with him. And he was in Palm Springs last week doing a show at one of the clubs here, and he invited us to go, and we hung out with him and stuff. It was a lot of fun. So you can meet
Nice.
cool people at these things, and it's fun. And
You
I
really
like it.
do. It's a great time. And then when you go do more, you just keep seeing the same people. It's a sweet network.
And we actually have, because the next person coming on does a lot of conventions too. Have you ever met Deborah Foreman from Valley Girl and a bunch of horror movies, which you wouldn't, because you probably don't do horror.
I'm not positive if I have or not. Honestly, I haven't done that many conventions. I've done 4 or 5 conventions in my life. So
Oh, okay.
maybe I'll see her down the road.
She actually was on one episode of Family Ties too.
Oh, really? Well, that's super cool.
I don't have to tell you how much money you could make signing
Yeah,
autographs.
you can make. Do you have an agent for that? Because if you don't have one, I can get you one.
I mean, you make a lot of money. The bigger your name, the more they pay you, and then the people pay you, so you can walk away with many thousands. And nobody wants to not walk away with many thousands. You have a son. I want to tip you off. You know what his sneakers are going to cost and his jeans are going to cost? You better sign autographs. Kids are expensive.
Funny.
Kids are very especially when they go to
never-ending.
school, when they're 10 and 11 years old and they go to school and they say, "Dad, my friend's got $350 sneakers. I really like them. How come I don't have them? I look like shit." And then you're going to say, "Don't worry, son, I'll buy you $350 sneakers." You give in.
The time will come.
At 2, you don't have to worry about
So
it.
you
yet,
better
so
go.
you're
You better
okay.
go sign your
But
photographs.
if you ever want an agent for that, let me know. I know a bunch of them.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have a guy right now, but like I said, I'm kind of hunkered down with my son for a bit.
Right.
Maybe he'll start going to conventions with me when the world settles down a little.
Yeah, a little
Oh,
bit.
you think it ever will?
I do have to say though, I think that's super cool that you're doing that because you've
But
had.
wait a minute. Let's tell all of our listeners and viewers that this is the little guy that was on Facts of Life.
No,
Not
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Excuse me.
That's all right.
I'm on Vicodin.
Normally, it's a good excuse. Normally, it's growing pains. People confuse it with, but.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, he knew all the people. He knew a lot of people from Facts of Life. That's why he says
Right.
that.
Well, it's a great show.
Yeah.
So actually,
But I know Growing Pains also.
Yeah.
So do I. My daughters were growing up when they were watching these TV shows, and I loved all the messages they sent out. I love the one with George Clooney when he was on The Facts of Life. George Clooney was about 18 years old. He couldn't act.
Cool.
He couldn't act to save his ass.
Yeah, from Growing Pains, I grew up hanging out with the Gold family and the Millers, Jeremy Miller, and then Tracy Gold and her family, and and Brandy Gold is my brother's agent right now. So still,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's funny because we
So
actually
you're
met
still in touch.
Jeremy Miller has a podcast, and we have a good friend, Sean Kanan, who is an actor in a soapy and an actor, and he's probably going to be in Cobra Kai. And
Sean
at his Studio City premiere, Jeremy Miller was a friend of his, so he was there. So we got to meet him through that, and he's a really cool guy. Actually, all you guys were cool, are cool guys, which makes me happy. So you guys, Brian was in Family Ties with Meredith Baxter, Michael Gross, Tina Yothers, Justine Bateman, Michael J. Fox. He played Andy Keaton.
No, that's a show.
And I love Justine Bateman.
That's a show George Clooney was on.
No.
Yeah, he was.
George Clooney
wasn't George Clooney on your show?
On Facts of Life.
Was it Facts of Life?
Yeah, he's on Facts of Life. He's not.
I get all those shows.
And so then I had somebody. So I was talking to people saying, because I'm always, every time we go to an event, I'm looking for cool guests that we can have come on the show. And I told people that you were coming on the show because we're doing a movie right now in LA. I'm not working today because we have our show. And I told them I was having you on, and they were like, and there was like this 20, I don't know, maybe a 20-something-year-old girl there or whatever, but she was like, my favorite movie when I was like growing up was Blank
we're not
Cheque.
Supposed to mention it on my Facebook page. The guy that wrote and said, "Please don't mention." Was it you that said don't mention it?
No.
Somebody wrote on my Facebook page a blank check. Mention Ron.
Mention blank
no,
check.
They said to me, Ron, be sure and mention blank check. And then somebody else wrote, please, Ron, don't mention blank check. So I don't know what the hell that's all about.
They loved it. Everybody when I told them you were coming on was so excited.
Let me in on it. What's Blank Cheque?
Blank Cheque is a movie that he starred in about a little kid. Wait, you tell us what it's about real quick, because I don't want to answer for you. You tell them what it's about.
It's a Disney movie about a kid who he gets hit on his bicycle by a criminal, and the criminal writes him a blank check and says, give this to your parents. They'll know what to do with it. And he fills it out for $1 million.
Wow.
And he goes on a shopping spree and buys a castle and this crazy wild ride. Had a lot of fun filming that. Everybody was awesome to work with. And
that sounds like a wonderful Christmas movie to watch. Hey, everybody out there, watch Blank Cheque. It's like a miracle movie.
It's a fun movie.
It sounds fun. $1 million blank check from a mafioso. Yeah. Very nice. I like that.
I loved it too. There you go. Look, she put the blank check thing up. So, so how did you actually?
You were a really cute little kid when you were little.
Well, thank you.
He's still nice looking, but
when I was little.
No, but you were like the typical perfect kid, bro. You look at.
Oh, well, thank you. That's kind of
sweet. Does your kid look like your son? Look like you?
Yeah, he looks just like me.
Oh, good.
And he looks like his mom too. Right.
Well, there's always a mixture, but my daughters both look like me more than their mother. So sometimes it happens.
So
whoever has the biggest, strongest dream.
She's beautiful. So he's got the good looks.
It doesn't matter.
She's got blonde hair though, right? Does your wife have blonde hair?
She dyes her hair. I think right now it's blonde and black. So.
Okay. Yeah. I think I thought maybe when we met her, she might have had blonde hair, and it looked like your son has blonde hair. Kind of.
Oh no! Now I'm gonna get in trouble. It's like a really cool, like ashy color right now. So.
Okay. Oh, good. Instead of blonde black, you don't want to get in trouble. What's your wife's name? Hi, wife.
Her name is Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
We met you a long time ago, and it's nice to see you. And
Why don't you come on the screen and give us a hi?
Yeah, she's not there.
She's not here right now.
Oh, I thought she was.
No, she's not there. So real quick, what I want to do, hey, what's her face? Roxy, let's play Blank Cheque. Though I actually took the trailer off so people can see it, because if everybody should really watch this movie anyway, and it's so much fun. So Roxy, I'm gonna have Brian just say, hey, here's the trailer for Blank Cheque, my film Blank Cheque, and then Roxy, you play it. All right, go, Brian. All right.
Here is my film Blank Cheque.
It was the perfect crime.
Hello, beautiful.
Everything was going according to plan.
I want new bills. We're back in the SNL business, Peterman. I'll send my guy in tomorrow with a check for $1 million. Yep, tomorrow, just like the old days.
But one little thing is about to come between him and his money. Preston Waters.
What about my bike?
What you want, kid? What do you think? Come on, let's make a deal. Talk to me. Give that check to your dad. He'll know what to do with it.
It's a blank check. $1 million.
Cashing the big one today?
Sort of.
I worked hard to steal that money, Peterman. You gave it to some zit-faced little kid.
Now, America's smallest millionaire
Nice to meet you. Hop in. I didn't actually mean hop in.
is about to become a big-time spender.
I'm gonna go buy some stuff.
He's getting everything he ever wanted. And doing everything he ever dreamed.
You're gonna help me find him. You understand?
Not too shabby.
It's comfortable.
Hey, mister, you know where the refreshment stands are?
No.
It's a date then.
A date?
Baby brother comes into his own.
Now, the boy who's learning to live the good life is going to teach 3 careless crooks the hardest thing about having $1 million
Let's like party till we die. Cool.
is trying to hang on to it.
Yeah, get it, get it, get it, get it.
That must have hurt.
Blank check.
Kid,
Gary?
you are on a roll.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. That is so fun.
I want to see this movie now. It's a fun movie. It's nice. It's light and airy and happy.
Here's my son.
Oh yeah!
Oh, look at him.
Look
He
how
is
adorable.
gorgeous. Beautiful boy. God bless him.
I love it.
And then there he is.
Yeah.
And there's
Adorable.
my wife.
Okay.
Beautiful.
We can't see her well, but him, yeah.
So,
Very
so
good.
I have just a general question for you. Like, when you were how old were you when you actually started acting? And did you even know did your parents just say, oh, put you into it, or did you even understand it?
Well, my sister is 4 years older, and we lived in Fremont, California, and she was going on modeling jobs and interviews, and my mom and I and her would take the BART to San Francisco to go on interviews and such. And she was trying out for a teddy bear commercial, and I was 3, and I wanted to see what was going on in there, and I poked my head in the door, and they changed the part to a boy and gave it to me.
See that? People don't get it. In this business, 80% of it's luck, timing, and being at the right place at the right time. Talent has nothing to do with it. You can get anybody off the street and give them lines, a little bit of coaching, and they can act. But it's getting there. That's it. Now, do you remember making that? I made a film back in 1959, and I remember hardly any of it. I mean,
I remember bits and pieces. I did that teddy bear commercial, and I did an LA Zoo commercial, and then Family Ties was like the 3rd thing I'd ever tried out for. And I think it was, 2,000 other kids or something crazy. And I can tell you that even at 3 years old, 3.5, I remember being in Gary Goldberg's office, and I remember they said, walk forward, back, left is right, and say Alex is king, and I got the part. There wasn't really much to it. Like you said, I had that look, I had that bowl cut, and I could follow simple directions, and for the most part, I behaved in the waiting room, and I think they're looking at that too. There's kids screaming
loud,
impatient. Yeah, I've worked with kids.
Yeah,
So what I remember,
ever.
the movie I was in, the only thing I do remember is sitting next to Sophia Loren in between takes and talking to her in Italian. And Sophia saying to me, Ron, your Italian is as bad as my English. And we had a good laugh. She's a lovely, lovely girl. She was only 26 at the time. I was 19. And just that was I remember all of that. And Tab Hunter too, because Tab and I remained friends until he passed away. But other than that, the film, I really don't remember it.
How is Karen Duffy? I used to have, before I figured out I was a total homo, I used to like love Karen Duffy. I thought she was like the most beautiful thing ever.
She was so cool to work with. She was amazing, and you know, and her and my mom hung out so much on the set too, and yeah, just nothing but great memories. I was extremely lucky in the business. I was, as far as that, in the 10, 11 years, you know, of acting. I just worked with the most awesome people, and I have nothing but great memories.
I love it. So some of the other things you guys, besides Blank Check and Family Ties, he was in Mikey, and I love Josie Bissett.
Yeah,
she was from
she was really cool to work
and
with.
Ashley Lawrence, who's actually been on our show before.
She's great. She's in so many good movies, and Hellraiser, and
yeah, I love all that stuff. And then Star Trek: The Next Generation. So how did you do you get to go to sci-fi convention? Oh, have you gone to any sci-fi conventions with that?
I haven't yet. I would love to do some, but no, I haven't done any Star Trek conventions.
I love that. Then Father and Scout with Bob Saget. He's the guy from America's Funniest Home Videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's American.
Yep.
And then Distant Cousins with Mel Harris, David Keith, William Catt, Marge Helgenberger. Fatherhood with Patrick Swayze and Halle Berry and Michael Ironside and Diane Ladd and Adrienne Barbeau. We had her on last year, and Bob Gunton. He's been on the show. Lillian Winter with Natalie Cole, and on TV shows, you guys, he was on Day by Day and Booker, The Young Riders, Shades of L.A., Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I love that one. Heaven Help Us. So you really had a great run of everything that was going on. And so about how old were you when you were like, okay, but I also like music? Like, when did that start to come around for you?
I mean, music was always in my household growing up, and I always loved music. You know, started playing the drums at about 7 years old, and you know, kind of moved on to learning my way around a bass guitar and a guitar. I mean, my first band was in high school when I was 15, and you know, I've probably had 15 bands
Since then.
But yeah.
So who were some of the bands that were like influenced you when you were like younger? Because like not everybody decides to become like a, you know, go in punk rock in that direction. Oh, there he is.
I mean, when I was young, I fell in love with punk rock around, you know, 1994, I would say. I had already listened to The Clash and Ramones growing up and stuff like that, but it didn't really hit me until I heard, you know, the 90s version of punk rock. Which is what I fell in love with. So, you know, Fat Records and all those bands.
It's funny because we were at a big charity event right before COVID in LA, and I forgot whichever one of the Ramones is still alive, but one of the main guys, he was actually at it, so we got to like meet him and talk to him and hang out with him, and he was cool.
When I was doing Chiller Theater, and when I met you guys, Marky Ramone was there. And he's one of the Ramones. He was on, you know, an episode of The Simpsons, and he actually summoned me from my table to go meet him, and I was speechless. Somebody got me and said, Marky Ramone wants to meet you, and I was like, what? You know, and they walked me over there, and we took a picture together, and just kind of thumbs up. Didn't say much, but yeah, pretty amazing. I'll never forget that.
I love it. Have you stayed in touch with any of your co-stars from the past ever? Or do you ever see any of them or talk to any of them?
I mean, here and there, I've been talking a lot with Family Ties cast members, because we just did a reunion thing online all together, and it was really amazing. We had done one, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, and I had an earpiece and I couldn't see them, and I couldn't distinguish who was who. It was so hard. And this time we were all face to face online, and I've been in contact with Mark Price a lot. He was Skippy, the next door neighbor, and Scott Valentine, and me and Mark, you know, might possibly he does stand up, and he's touring around doing his stand up all the time, and he's been so gracious as to invite me to do some routines with him. Unfortunately, the ones we've set up already have been canceled, and we didn't get to achieve that. But hopefully here down the road, we're going to do some stuff together. So
now, when you were a child actor, did you ever stop and think, what am I going to do when I grow up?
I mean, not really. Once I found my obsession for music and punk rock, I that's all I really wanted to do. So
TV became secondary.
I knew the risks, and I know that, you know, being successful in music is a different story rather than just doing what you love no matter what. And
now, when you were a kid, did your parents invest your funding wisely? Because you know of the the Cooper law.
I mean, my mom, you know, invested in some stuff with my money, and all that. She was good with it. That was another, you know, area that I was lucky, and I don't have that horror story of the other child actors.
Jackie Coogan. Jackie Coogan made millions of dollars back when you didn't pay taxes.
Yeah,
and his parents blew all of it. And Jackie Coogan that's why it's called the Coogan law.
Yeah,
if you know.
I do.
And I ask all the kid actors that are adults now, and a few of them have said, yeah, my parents were reckless with my money. Now they're very good. If you go, we work with kids, and if a kid works now, the parents can't touch it. They get a slight percentage of what the kid makes. That's theirs, and the rest automatically goes in trust. So if you put your kid in the business, you know that's what's going to happen. Yeah. This way, when he's 21, he can wind up with a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it. So what I want to do real quick, because we're talking about music and everything, and I want people to actually hear what you sound like, because I wanted to. I was super impressed. So I have Oxford Road and What in the World, and I told her we were going to play Oxford Road first, but I actually like What in the World better. Which one do you like better?
Probably What in the World.
So Roxy, we're going to switch the order, and we're going to do What in the World, and we're going to let him introduce it, and then you play the video for us. Is that okay, Roxy? I know it is. Just nod your head. So go ahead, introduce What in the World. We're going to play it for everybody to hear you as the punk rock god.
All right. This is a song I wrote, What in the World, by one of my bands, Sunset Silhouette.
Yay! That was Sunset Silhouette, you guys. What in the world? The chat room loves it. They're saying it should be in soundtracks, and they want to know if they can add to their everyday playlist. Is that stuff on Spotify or no?
It is.
All right, you guys. Sunset Silhouette on Spotify. Check it out. And then you also have do you have like an Instagram for your acoustic stuff too? Because
I do. I've been playing little acoustic gigs with my buddy since about like 2013, and now that I'm a stay-at-home dad, that's kind of the avenue that I've focused on as far as music. It's we have a weird band name because it's our nicknames. There are nicknames among our friends that we've had for years, and mine is Bonds, like Fawns, but with a B. So, and his is Bootjack. So our little acoustic project is called Bootjack and Bonds.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
And now it makes sense.
We have an Instagram and Facebook, and we have one, EP of 7 songs we released back in 2014 or something like that. It's on Bandcamp as well, and that's not on all the streaming services right now. Should get it on there soon though.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about being an in-house dad.
An in-house. I'm loving it. It's, I think any parent can tell you it's not always easy, but I am just super grateful to be home with my son all the time. And my wife runs 3 machine shops that we own, and she's just kicking butt, and grateful for her hard work there, and I'm here.
What kind of machine shops?
CNC machining. So they make all sorts of stuff. They make parts for hospitals and prosthetic limbs and the amount of stuff they make is vast. They make all sorts of stuff. So basically, any company can hit them up and ask them if they can help them out and make parts for them, and they just go from there.
How did you get into that?
That's a good thing that they're making for people who need that. Now, do you cook?
I cook. I've even cooked in a few restaurants back in the day, but yeah, I dabble here and there.
And you make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for him when he goes to school?
We just found out he's allergic to peanut butter, unfortunately.
Oh no, that can't be true.
It's a shame. It's not it's not at this point. It's not like a fatal allergy.
No, but
he gets hives, but there's a small chance that it can go away.
So can grow out of it. Yeah,
in a year we'll test him again. Yeah. But it's unfortunate because Reese's is like the best candy in the world,
and kids love it. Angelina Jolie, who's really Angie Voigt, grew up in my house with my daughter Deirdre when we lived in Beverly Hills. And I'm proud to say that I used to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Angelina Jolie when she was a kid. Yeah, it's true. It's a true story.
What is she?
She loved peanut butter and jelly. I don't think her mother ever had it in the house for some reason. John Voight was a strange dad.
See, I never liked it. I like.
Oh, Angie loved it.
Like jelly.
I remember her standing in the kitchen next to the table, and I would be preparing it, making it, and she'd be smiling and looking at that sandwich. Couldn't wait to eat it.
So
funny things you remember.
At 2, what kind of thing? Because I've never had children. So at 2, what does a 2-year-old like to do?
Everything bad. Everything bad.
He is obsessed with guitar right now.
Oh, cool.
So he just struts around the house with his little ukulele, and he, accidentally smacks it against the wall in every corner he turns, and he wants to watch Shout It Out Loud by Kiss over and over, and he says shower.
So he's not going through the terrible twos.
He has his times. Yeah, he can.
I remember the terrible
drop of a hat. Yeah,
I remember.
I love Kiss. As a kid, I love Kiss.
A thing called a terrible twos.
Yes,
I know.
About that? Yeah. I think it can be worse with a strong personality, and he's got that. So
sounds like he's going to be a musician. Chip off the old block.
He is loving music, and it's it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
How cool for a 2-year-old to love Kiss. I mean, I love that. I have
Yeah.
these Kiss dolls, and I collect action figures, and I have these. They're about 2 feet tall, all of them. I have like all 4 of them. They're standing on these rocks, and you push the button, and each one plays a different song. And
That's super cool.
I was like a Kiss like fanatic. Everything up through Love Gun, and then after Love Gun, I didn't really listen anymore.
He is obsessed with Scooby-Doo, and there is one Scooby-Doo show called What's New Scooby-Doo, and it has Kiss on there.
Oh man.
And that's where they perform Shout It Out Loud. So that's where he just got his obsession with that song. And then the rest of the soundtrack is punk rock on a Scooby-Doo show. It's pretty amazing. There's MXPX, Less Than Jake, and Simple Plan does the theme song, and CIV is on there from Gorilla Biscuits, and there's just the Muffs and tons of bands, and so that's his entry into punk rock music.
I actually met Simple Plan, Good Charlotte, and Newfound Glory. Newfound Glory used to live in Florida by us, so we would see them out all the time.
That's cool. The Newfound Glory guys are great guys. I haven't met those other bands, but I talked with Ian from the bass player Newfound Glory, and he sent me one of his trading cards, and I sent him a Star Trek trading card of my character, and the Ataris. We played some shows with them, so it was super cool. They're great guys.
That's
Great
what you
band.
guys kind of remind me of, though. You remind me kind of like of an updated like Newfound Glory or Good Charlotte or
Well, it's
even
definitely
Green
influenced
Day.
by that subgenre of punk rock, pop punk.
Did you like Green Day?
Yes.
Because Green Day's a good one. Go ahead, Ron.
We have a very good, close dear friend of ours who played for Pink Floyd.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, and he's playing New Year's Eve at a friend's house party with a bunch of other guys that you might know. Scott Page is the saxophone player of Pink Floyd. Who's the drummer? Which one is coming?
I don't know.
Kenny?
Oh, but so I'm a publicist and I work with a lot of people. So like we work with Kenny Aronoff, and Kenny Aronoff toured with John Fogerty, but he's been in every band, Smashing Pumpkins. He's been in like all these different bands.
So these people are playing at the New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, they're going to a fun party.
We're going
That's
to Sue Wong's party. She has an enormous mansion estate up in LA. So she has a house that can afford to hold an orchestra, not orchestra. Listen to me, orchestra. You know how old I am.
It's rock,
now.
though. It's not punk rock. It's all like rock.
Yeah, and we have the best time. And usually Ron Moss sings, but he's in Italy.
Ron Moss is he was in the band Baby Come. He sings Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back.
Yeah,
that's him. Song.
So it's fun knowing all these talent.
Yeah,
Knowing all these talented people is really fun, and having them play for us is quite a treat.
Oh yeah,
but in my day it was Peggy Lee, Johnny Mathis, Frank Sinatra. Those are my people. Then suddenly they went away, and all these new people came in, and I don't know who the hell they are. So, I mean, I went to a party once, I remember, up in Truesdale Estate of a very close friend of mine, and she was lovely, and she said, "Ron, why don't you go over and talk to the electric company?" And I thought to myself, what in the hell do I want to talk to somebody from the electric company? I had no idea. And then I found out later it was the electric band. What are they called?
ELO. Electric.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. I had no idea. And I'm talking to the guy for a long time, and I said, "Oh, so you work for the electric company?" And he looked at me. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, what, you go up the poles and take care of the wires?" He said, "No, what are you talking about?" So then he told me who he was. He said, "You were putting me on, weren't you?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm a lot older than I look." When I told him my age, he said, "You're kidding. You're that old?" I said, "Yeah, that old." I don't know from you guys.
So let's say you were going to now somebody called you and and said, "We're going to take you and your wife and your son and your band. You're going to go on a 3-week tour." Who would you like to go on tour with? Like that you think as a musician would be like the coolest thing to go on tour with?
I mean, I'd probably have to, stick with the bracket of our genre. So like you said, I mean, come on, Green Day would be awesome.
Yeah, Green Day.
No Effects, Lagwagon, those 90s era punk rock bands that's what I fancy.
When I was in college, we would listen to the Misfits a lot because they were in Gainesville. I went to school in Gainesville, and we had there was another band. I forgot who it was.
Who's the most famous band out of this kind of music? that I would know, because I have no idea of anyone you mentioned.
The Sex Pistols.
Yeah, Sex Pistols.
I know the
Sid Vicious. Sid
Pistols.
Vicious.
Yes, the Sex
The
Pistols.
Ramones are pretty.
I never heard of them.
The
But
Sex Pistols, the Clash, and the Ramones. You know, they started it all, and then it's arguable that Iggy Pop started it because when they went into the studio, they wanted to sound like his album, which had come out the year before. So that's why there's the whole argument of who started punk rock music.
I met Iggy
Pistols,
Pop before.
The Pistols I know of.
Yeah.
So the Pistols have to be the most famous.
So what about going back to like movies and films? So you worked with a lot of huge people. Like in Fatherhood, you even worked with Halle Berry, which like she's like, I mean, back then maybe she's not the same as she is now,
She's
but I mean,
a wonderful
that was cool.
girl. She was in the Miss Long Island contest the year before my daughter won, and Haley gave my daughter the thing at the year later, the crown, and she was absolutely the most delightful, well-spoken, elegant little girl, young woman at the time. Beautiful, beautiful girl. Beautiful.
So wait, so going back to the movie question though, so because you're different than a lot of people that we have are in a lot of movies, but they're not used. They're like a part of an ensemble cast, and basically like everything that you did, you're like the star of it. It all revolves around you. Everything that you were in. So it wasn't like you're like a little person with a few lines. Like you were always the star of everything that you like ever did. Is there any, like if you were to come up with any movie that's ever been done in history, is there some movie that you think, oh my God, when I was acting, I would have loved to do this movie?
I mean, since I was the lead role in most movies I did, I see so many movies, you know, come up that I had tried out for as well. You know, like, you know, a movie will come on and, you know, we'll be watching it and my wife will be sitting there and be like, you know, I tried out for this one. I tried out for this one, tried out for the, but, wow, that's a hard question.
What are some of the movies you tried out for that you didn't get that you've seen?
I mean, it's so vast. I mean, like, you know, in the same vein as Blank Cheque, you know, Richie Rich and Angels in the Outfield and Kindergarten Cop and
what about Home Alone? You could have done Home Alone.
Me and Macaulay were the last two kids trying out for that. And
How cool is that?
and he got the part.
That is so cool.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he did a great job.
You could have done a great job at Home Alone also.
Well, thank you.
No, you could have.
It was funny you brought up the Misfits because my stepbrother, he's been my stepbrother since we were really little, 9, 10 years old. His name's Victor DiMattia, and he just did a movie with Danzig, Death Rider in the House of Vampires, and he plays Danzig's sidekick. It's a Danzig vampire movie that was just released.
That's funny because we have friends who he did another movie right before COVID. It got released. Now I forgot the name of it, but it was like had 3 separate little stories in it. And he's the director of all of them. We had friends in every single episode.
Yeah,
of it.
Like, it was just super cool because we grew up listening to the Misfits, and he had Glenn Danzig call and wish me a happy birthday a couple of years ago, and I was dumbfounded. He you know, my brother called me and then he was like, "Hey, 1 sec," and he handed the phone and he was like, "Hey, this is Danzig, happy birthday," and I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I was speechless.
That'd be fun to be in a Danzig movie then.
Coolest brother ever.
That could be
they might do some more stuff together. I'm really stoked.
Happy for him,
bro. Yeah,
that's cool. So,
do you miss the limelight?
Yeah, you know, there's times that I do, and then, you know, I think that's something that every, you know, actor, musician, whatever, you know, battles with back and forth. You know, it's a bittersweet thing. Like, yeah, you know, it's easy to miss that, but it's nice to be able to walk out your front door once in a while. You know, and at this point, my whole body's covered in tattoos, and people don't recognize.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're full of tattoos?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? That's poisoning your skin, you know that?
Ron doesn't like them. I love it.
It's so unhealthy.
I don't feel poisoned.
No, they're finding out more and more now about this, and they're starting to say it's not the wisest thing to do.
It's so funny because when we first met you, though, I think because facially you look exactly the same. I mean, if you put your hair in a bowl cut, you would look exactly like a grown-up version of yourself. So without the tattoos, I think you
have
look
that
exactly
energy
the same.
too. You have that nice young energy.
Well, thank you.
So I think it's
phenomenal. Do you guys.
Yes, and he's 81
and a half. Don't forget the half. I went to my heart doctor for a checkup, and I said, you know what? I don't have the energy I used to have. He said, well, after all, Ron, you're 81 and a half. I wanted to punch him. He had to put the half in.
I think it's phenomenal. I think that you've had a wild ride of a life. I think you're going to continue to have so. I think it's really cool that you're.
It's cool that you came out of it normal, because
thank you.
I know a lot of teen. What's the name? I don't want to use her name. Yeah, I can. She's a mess.
Don't use names. That's not nice.
Well, it's Margaret O'Brien.
Oh, well, nobody knows who that is anyway.
Yes, they most
Only
certainly
old people do.
Margaret O'Brien. Margaret O'Brien played with Elizabeth Taylor, the biggest stars in 1940s and 50s, and Margaret O'Brien is just.
I think it's really cool that you're a stay-home dad, because I think so I'm from the generation, that's like an older generation thing where you don't like shuffle off your kids to babysitters and nannies and stuff. My parents, always worked around, so one of them was always home when I grew up, and I think it's a really important thing, and I think that's really admirable to do that. What you're doing, because your whole life, your kid can be much older, and if you want to go back, you just go back and start doing it again.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so you can like go in and out of it, and the fact that you're actually become like an influence and like someone that your son looks up to.
You have the training, you have the experience, you have the talent. That is like a light switch. When you need it, it's like bicycle riding. You never forget it. So if tomorrow they offered you a lead in a 100-page script, you could memorize. Are you good at that? Could you memorize a lot of pages?
Yeah, I mean, that was something I was always really good at when I was younger. And, that was thanks to my mom. She was in theater before my acting took off, and she kind of put that stuff on hold, and she was really good at teaching me my lines and how to get better at remembering it all, the memory game and all that. So it's definitely helped me in music and stuff like that. I have found with music that, when you write lyrics that are, the real you, they kind of just come out naturally. And that's something, you're just saying what you would normally say anyway. So it makes it easy to remember it. But yeah.
I love it.
Most actors and actresses, when they start very young, really have an amazing way of remembering 40 pages, and they never lose it. Who is it that Talia Gill from Queer as Folk, the one that played the blonde. Talia's a good friend of mine. We did a commercial. They gave her the script, and I'm sitting there watching her, and she's doing okay. And they shot it. I mean, it was amazing. I would have been there.
Especially when you start young, you exercise that part of your brain.
I mean, I would have been there for 2 hours doing another couple of 100 takes. And she did.
So here's what, everybody. So this is Brian Bonsall. You can follow him on Instagram. It's Mr. Brian Bonsall. He's also got an Instagram for his band, which is something in Bonds. What's it again?
Bootjack
and Bonds.
Yep.
You can follow him on Instagram on both of them. His band was.
I'm going to call you that from now on.
His band was Sunset Silhouette, SILHOUETTE. You can see his acoustic stuff again on Bootjack and Bonds.
You got it.
Follow him on.
It's funny because we made that band name that everybody screws up, and we've showed up to venues to play. I can't tell you how many times it's spelt different on the board, and we always just have a laugh because it's like, we dug our own grave by creating this,
listen, I don't remember anything because I'm old, but I remembered Bootjack and Bonds. So you did a good name.
I think it's
if I remember it, the dead can remember it.
So we want to thank you for coming on the show. Anytime you have, there you go. Anytime you have anything that you want to promote, let us know. Good luck, being a dad.
And
I think it's really cool.
Thank you so much.
I have to take my hat off to you. I raised both my daughters alone, by the way. My wife left them when they were very young.
Oh.
She didn't want to be a mother anymore or a wife. And they didn't see her till she passed away all their lives. So I raised two daughters, and I know
it's amazing that you stuck around and
I'm a neurotic father. I mean, they live a half hour from us. We're going to play cards with them tonight.
I bet you're a great dad.
Yes, he is.
Well, I respect great dads, and I want to just say to you, my hat's off to you.
Well,
you're going to raise one hell of a nice human being. When
Thank
your
you. I
son
really
grows,
appreciate that.
no, the reward for any sacrifices you make now, you get back when they're adults. And he will say, Dad, you know what? I'm happy you didn't go out that New Year's Eve and you stayed with me. And things like that. You know, I don't want to get, because I could start to cry from these goddamn these painkillers I'm on. But I have a lot of friends that are raising children alone. And I say to them, it's amazing. You're the best people in the world. I was the first Mr. Mom before Mr. Mom movie.
You gotta like
My
love it.
daughter's 53 years old, so you can imagine, you know, how many years ago, unheard of for a man to raise two daughters. It was unheard of.
Well, that's awesome. You did that. I'm super grateful to get to be here with him all the time, and
I think it's wonderful. Love every minute of it because you know what? It goes quickly.
yeah, it really does. You hear that, you know, growing up, you
Oh
hear that
no, it
your whole life.
does.
You know, life is short. You know, before you know it, you know, blah
No,
blah.
not
But
not
then
but
once you
that,
have a kid, it's just striking, like how
no
true
that,
those
that,
statements
that
are.
that's an, I mean, I was telling Jimmy, you know, we were decorating the Christmas. He was, I can't because of my arm, and I said, you know, Jim, I miss my girls when they were little. I miss them sitting underneath the Christmas tree, looking at the gifts, saying, "Can we open now, Daddy? Can we open?" I said, "No, you have to wait until Christmas morning," and I miss that.
Yeah.
Santa Claus. Anyway, we got to go because our next guest is in the chat room. But
All right.
Brian, Merry Christmas to you and your
Merry
family.
Christmas. Happy
Yes, Merry
holidays.
Christmas
And we'll talk to you soon. All
Everybody.
right.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jimmy. Thank you, Ron. I had a great time. Great
Good, I'm
interview.
glad.
Thanks for
Good.
the awesome
You're a
hospitality.
nice, you're a nice
Absolutely.
guy and a great dad.
All right.
Ditto.
Bye-bye.
God bless all of you.
Bye bye.
Yay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
I loved him.
Bye.
He's fabulous.
What a nice fella.
And I really like his music. If you like
I like what he
rock.
stands for. I like he's not a nut. He's not a neurotic. He didn't turn out to be a drug addict weirdo, because most kid actors do, or suicidal nut job. He's a very sweet, clean-cut, normal fella raising his kid. I can't talk better
Even
about
though he
him.
has tattoos everywhere.
Well, you know, that's not good. They're finding that those tattoos. Well, anyway,
He's fabulous. I loved him.
if don't get your
And he was so nice, you guys.
everybody
when I
out there,
contacted
do
him on
not get
Instagram.
your entire body tattooed.
All
Ask,
right, so we're gonna bring
ask a skin doctor before.
we're gonna bring on our next guest, which I bet she doesn't have any tattoos. We're gonna find out though in 1 minute. Go ahead, let's bring her in, Roxy. Hey, Deborah, how are you?
Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Ron.
Good to see
Oh
you
my
again.
God, you don't age
You're
ever.
welcome.
You don't look this. You look exactly the same as you did the last time we had you
No,
on.
I think she changed her hairdo.
Yeah.
It's lighter. It's
Yes.
lighter, I think.
Lighter, and the Buster Brown bangs is cute. I
No,
like
she had
it.
the brains before. I
Not Buster
think.
Brown. This is a Buster Brown cut. See how it's cut? It's cut at ear length under the earlobe.
I love it. So hold
It's
on, let's
called-
do it.
when I was a hairdresser, I know we used to call it the Buster Brown.
Hold on, let me introduce her. So, all right, everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the fabulously wonderful, gorgeous, and talented Deborah Foreman. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
So
And this is Astro.
This is Astro.
Our 7-pound rescue. Hey, baby.
Oh, hi, Astro. Really pretty.
He's a sweet boy.
So, Ron, you remember Ron, our cool, outrageous man about town co-host?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
last time we had you on, we lived in Pennsylvania, and you were living in Big Bear.
And I was living in Big Bear. I'm now in San Antonio, and you're in Florida, right?
And no, we're in Palm Springs.
Oh, Palm Springs.
We're
Okay.
in Palm Springs, and we go to Big Bear. We just shot a movie up at Big Bear not too long ago.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
lived there. I've been here 2 years now.
Now, how do you like living in Texas?
Do you miss Big Bear?
No.
Oh, so
I don't like the driving up there. I don't like to go up.
No, it's kind of boring, and the people are not the best anymore. It's changed a lot.
It's changed a whole lot. I was there
Yeah.
for 9 years, and it was fabulous in the first
Yeah.
couple of years, and then it
Got
just changed.
touristy and crappy.
Yeah, it's not the same sweet Big Bear that I grew up with. In San Antonio, I was raised in Texas, so I'm back home basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
See, and Palm
San
Springs.
Antonio, that's where the Alamo is, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I went there as a kid.
Palm Springs is not what it was 20 years ago. Palm Springs has changed. I don't care for it anymore. It's gotten commercial. They're building all these ugly, big monstrosity buildings, tearing down the wonderful old cowboy little taverns and stuff that made Palm Springs so quaint. And now it's looking like Las Vegas with the bright lights and the coffee shops. And why do they have to
It's
destroy?
like the biggest Starbucks I've ever seen here.
I mean, one thing I have to say about Europe, in Europe, they do not destroy anything to make modern. And we should leave our traditions. Palm Springs used to be the quaintest, cutest little town. Now it's LA. Same
And we
problems.
go to LA a lot.
And the
'cause we're
crime
working a
is here.
lot.
Crime is in Palm Springs. It's
Terrible.
scary.
Anyway, we have a chat room.
I hurt myself. That's why I'm in this thing. And I'm on Vicodin. So if I don't make sense, please bear with me. Because I'm in a lot of pain.
So you guys, first of all, we have a chat room full of people. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello, hello, hello.
And then one of a very dear friend of mine, her name is Cindy. Well, we call her Cindy Lady Lake, and she's been like sending me messages that she can't wait for you to come on because she's such a huge fan. So just say hi to Cindy for me.
Hi, Cindy. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, everybody in the chat room like loves you. So first thing we're going to talk about, as always, has to talk about is Valley Girl. But this time I looked up everything you've done, and so I have lots of questions. And just in general, I'm glad you're back in San Antonio, and it looks like you have a lot of cool things like going on. And
what I love about San Antonio is the river, the canal, whatever that thing is, with all the restaurants on by this side. I love that. At night, it's so beautiful and quaint. Did that get commercialized and ruined?
No, the person that designed Disneyland designed our Riverwalk. So
love it.
It's always been, very sweet. It has that Disneyland feel when you walk around it. It's
just charming.
It's 15 miles long, so you can't really do it in one day unless you want to. I mean, you can.
Oh wow, that's really big.
No, and good restaurants and beautiful. I love it.
Lovely. It's
I've been there lots of times.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that lived there, and I used to always want to go to the Riverwalk.
So
you could take a boat up and down.
So you guys, Deborah, in 1983, she's the star of Valley Girl, which for my generation, not for Ron's, but for my generation, that is such an iconic movie. We've become actually really good friends with E.G. Daily. She's been on the show like 10 times, and she was in the film with you, Nicolas Cage, Michael Bowen, Cameron Dye, and now they did that. And I noticed that in the new TV show, you had like a little cameo. Did they actually contact you to say, "Hey, we want you to do a cameo in the new Valley Girls TV series"?
Yes, they did. And I didn't read the script. I only saw my sides, and I have never seen it.
I've never seen it either. I didn't watch it. Sometimes I have this thing about I hate the fact that I don't like old things to be remade. Like I don't like it when they like keep remaking like Nightmare on Elm Street and all these, like there's plenty of writers out there who are writing new material, and so I don't want to see something that wrecks my Valley Girl that I grew up on that I think is like the greatest movie. So I don't watch it. So I didn't watch it either. I haven't watched it.
No, and
either.
I always say things like Gone with the Wind, that belongs to Vivian Leigh. Lots of Betty Davis movies they're making remakes of, and don't do it because it belongs to Betty Davis. So you see, once a person makes a film that is legendary, don't touch it. Astro, enough kissing. You're making me like a bath.
It's funny because lady like Cindy, who you just said hi to, just wrote like she has the VHS of Valley Girl.
But I remember my daughters growing up used to say that we lived in LA. She'd say, "Oh, that girl, she's a Valley Girl. She talks like a Valley Girl. They dress like a Valley Girl." And it was like a bad thing to be a Valley Girl. What was this famous saying they used to say, the Valley Girls, all the time? Something with
the dialogue they used.
Yeah.
No, there was a famous saying that all the kids did.
Gag me with a spoon.
Gag me with a spoon. There you go. That's it. Gag me with the spoon.
I read your mind.
Right,
that is hilarious.
Right.
So, like, do people recognize you when you're out walking around from that?
No, not now, because I'm older, and it's generational. So younger
right,
people,
the audience changes.
Really yeah, the audience has changed, and I'm happy because that's I'm going to be 60 next year. So
go away. You look so good.
Thank you.
How much work have you had?
None. I don't do
Look
work.
how beautiful you are. You don't look 60.
He's 81 and a half.
And a half.
And I'll be 58. So like I'm right behind you.
You look wonderful for 60. You've lived a clean life.
Oh, and we just went to
no drugs, no booze.
No drugs, but I do love to drink. I love my wine.
Oh, but that's not drinking. I'm talking about alcoholism.
Oh no,
and no smoking. That's
no
why I don't do that crap either. That's why I look pretty good for 81. So
Mhm.
you look beautiful. Look at you, how
Thank
pretty.
you. Thank
You
you.
could be the new Doris Day.
That's a nice compliment. Thank
You
you.
could be the new
Oh,
Doris Day.
love it. It's funny because we went to a Halloween hotness fundraiser at Madame Tussauds in Hollywood for Halloween, and Diane Franklin was there, and I'm sure you know Diane Franklin,
We
right?
love
Because she's
her.
been on
We
our
love
show,
her.
yeah, and she got an award, and it was great because she's been on our show, so we got to actually meet her, and you guys are both have those iconic movies, that you were in. That everybody kind of like knows you from. So
Tell us your part in Valley Girls. A lot of people might not remember.
In
Who
which
did you-
one?
the young people. Oh no, not in the TV show. That shit
No,
sucks.
the movie. The movie.
In the movie.
I played the
Star.
Valley Girl.
She was the star. I know,
Yeah.
but people remember people by characters sometimes, not necessarily by their own
Our
names.
audience though is older, so
they
they like know who
they
she
know who
is.
you
They
are.
know who she is.
So for the younger audiences, just keep wondering. No, let
No,
her tell them who she is.
she's Julie.
I played
Who-
yes, I
who-
played Julie in Valley Girl, the title
Were you,
role.
were you the good girl or the bitchy bad girl?
I was a good girl.
So she was the good girl
And
in
you-
Valley. So now when
I
people
think you look
watch
the
it,
same.
it comes on television. So when people watch
Somebody
it,
said they watched it on Pluto last night.
see, now they could say, "Oh, that we know her. She was on our show and she played the good girl."
So you
See?
guys, some of the other stuff that you have seen Deborah in, and I know we didn't talk about any of these, and I want to bring them up because some of these are with such big people. I guess last time we had you on, I was so just I'm a horror guy, so I really like talking about horror movies. And Valley Girls, like one of my favorite movies, and 3:15, The Moment of Truth, is one of such
The
a
Valley
great movie.
Girl's not a horror movie.
I know it's not. I said Valley Girl and horror movies because she's in a bunch of horror movies. But she did a movie, and I haven't seen it. And I'm going to see if we can find it. It's called "I'm Dancing as Fast as I Can" with Jill Clayburgh, Diane Weiss,
Oh, I know that movie.
Jeffrey
I've seen it.
DeMunn, Joe Pesci, and Geraldine
Oh, yes.
Page.
You're in that?
That was one of the first things I ever did. I was 18 years old, 2 weeks worth of work, and the one line that I was given, it was cut the day, like right there on the set.
It was a great. I love that movie. I'm Dancing as Fast as
I'm
I
in the
Can.
background a whole lot. I'm in the insane asylum part.
Oh, I want to watch it just because I've never seen it.
No, it's a good movie.
And one of my favorites is 3:15, The Moment of Truth with Adam Baldwin and Ed Lauder. You did a bunch of movies with Ed Lauder.
I did a couple. I know. It was amazing. I did Real Genius.
Yeah, Real Genius with Val Kilmer and Ed Lauder.
His daughter. And then in 3:15, I know.
I always remember him because in what's the Longest Yard, he's like the jail guy, like the prison guard guy. He always plays people that scare me. When I was young, he always kind of played the mean person that you were afraid of.
Sure.
And so I thought he was.
You're
a lot of
still
fun.
like a young, sweet girl. The way you talk and giggle and laugh, you're like a young girl. It's wonderful. I could picture you in a 1954 convertible going to the hop, wearing a poodle skirt. That's how I envision you.
And I also read on IMDb you did a movie called Destroyer with Anthony Perkins. Now, are you a big role in that?
Yes. Clayton Roner and I star in that, and Lyle Alzado too. Don't forget about Lyle.
Oh yeah,
he played the baddie in that film, and it was shot in Denver, Colorado, and it was a good time. That was a hard one for me because there was a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of it was
Which
a lot
you're
of
not.
torment. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's called
I
acting.
love that laugh that you just did. That was
talented.
That was just like Julie laughed, just like that.
Well, that's who she is.
Which is just fabulous. I love it. So you guys, some of the other stuff you've seen her in, if you like horror movies, she's in April Fool's Day and Waxwork, which had a lot of big stars in it. That's a really good one. I want to ask, A Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat. Is that an actual horror movie? Because it's got huge people: David Carradine, Bruce Campbell, Maxwell Caulfield, E. Emmett Walsh, John Ireland. Is that a real vampire movie?
Yes, it was. It's a comedy.
Oh, okay. Vampire movie.
Vampire movie, and I don't think people know that it's kind of funny, but it is because I've seen it recently. I went, and this is a pretty funny film. That was shot in Moab, Utah, and all of those people were lovely. And don't forget about M. Emmett Walsh.
Yes, I said M.
Is John Ireland the John Ireland from the 40s?
Yes.
So this is probably one of his last films.
Yes.
He was a very good actor in his day.
Yes.
John Island. Strong actor, very strong.
He shares so many though. The Experts with John Travolta, Eric Gross, James Keach, Kelly Preston. I mean, these are like huge ass people. And then, so here's the one I want to know about because I know it wasn't done in 2020. Grizzly 2 Revenge. What did they do? Did they like reissue the movie or something?
Yeah, so we shot it. I was age 20. I did that even before Valley Girl. I think they realized that they didn't like the way the bear looked. They wanted it a little bit, it looked too fake. And so they ended up not having enough money to finish the film because they put it all into that bear. And so it sat in a vault. It sat in a vault for until like last year. And then they re-edited it. They, tried to, give it some life. And that's all. That's all I know about it.
Did you see it? Did you see it then when it came out again? No?
No, because I'm in Texas. I know that they had a screening in California. So I have not seen it. I have no idea because I'm young in that film. I mean, I've seen clips just even a long time ago. I saw clips like there was black market clips on YouTube. But yeah, that's all I know.
Oh, that's so funny though, because you guys listen to this. So Grizzly 2 Revenge, where she hasn't seen it. I mean, it stars everybody. Then so they were all young and nobody really probably knew who they were. But it's George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern, Jonathan Rhys Davies, Timothy Small from all the like Harry Potter movies, and you,
Louise Fletcher.
Yeah, Louise. So like, I want to actually. I'm going to go on eBay and see if I can find it, just to add it to my collection.
Now tell me, are you married to a cowboy?
No.
Your husband's? Are you married?
No, I'm single.
Oh, okay. If you were married, would you marry a cowboy? I don't know.
Maybe. I think I go for more artistic men, but if he was an artistic cowboy, then yeah.
Okay.
You make jewelry and stuff too, don't you? I think you used to make jewelry. Or do you still make jewelry?
I used to. And I think what happened, because I've always been a photographer since my early 20s. And during the time I was doing my jewelry business, I had to learn how to do the shooting of my product. I had to do the social marketing and post all that stuff. So I honed my craft into social marketing, and now I'm Patty's Herbs, a social marketer and product photographer.
Oh, cool.
That's my day job. And I love it. And I came here to San Antonio because the farm is just outside of San Antonio.
Oh, that makes the products that you're taking that you're doing the social marketing for. What's the name of the company again?
Patty's Herbs.
Okay, and what kind what are they? What is that?
It's an
vitamins.
It's an herb farm, and they have 26 varieties of herbs, and we sell to HEB, which is a huge grocery store here in Texas and Central Market, and then other companies, they sell to. And you just go to the grocery store, and there we are. We are one of the main herbs that you can pick up at the produce. So it's wonderful.
They're finding that herbs are one of the most healthiest things you can put in your body. And I believe in that because I'm holistic in a lot of ways.
100%.
Herbs really, don't like right now I'm on Vicodin. I don't like this because it's a man-made chemical. I would much prefer to be on a pot, but I don't do that because marijuana would have gotten rid of the pain. I'm in excruciating pain right now. But I wish I could take something that's holistic.
So that's why you look so good, though, because you don't drug and you do a lot of take herbs and stuff, right? Like, because you. I mean, it's been 5 or 6 years since the last time we had you on, and you don't look like you aged a day in those 5 or 6 years.
Well, when you do every 10 years, you do change. So I think I've got 5 more years of this, and then this will change.
Not necessarily.
Embracing all of it as I go.
No. I don't look like I did when I was 21. I look like an entirely different person, but I'm not unhappy with what I've turned into at 81. I never thought I'd look this good at 81. 81 is kind of old, but so you'll be like me when you're 81. You'll look good still. You'll be sophisticated. I feel sorry for some I can't mention names, but I'm from the olden days where I hung out with all the legends. And some of them just never stopped putting on makeup that they put on when they were 20 and they were 80 and 85. There's one I could tell you right now, but I won't mention her name. She's 90. She's a good friend of mine. She's 93, a very famous actress. And she had boobs put in, long platinum hair, and she wears eyelashes. And she looks like a bad drag queen or I don't know why. And I keep saying to her, cut your hair short, be sophisticated, wear pearls. You could be very beautiful at your age. And she looked at me like, pearls, and gave me a couple of foul words.
I bet you have pearls. Do you have pearls?
Sure, she does.
I do not. I have leather.
No, but you look like you
I
could
could
wear
see
pearls.
you though in pearls, so I could see you
Yeah.
wearing pearls.
But
I think
you
it'd be
have
pretty.
to change as you grow older. You can't be what you were. So make what you are better.
Right.
Jane Russell was my best friend, my buddy. We hung out. We were like brother and sister. And Jane Russell didn't believe in facelifts or any of that stuff, although she had threads put in and regretted it. 89 years old when she passed away. I've got to tell you, she had a body of death and was gorgeous still at 89. And she was an alcoholic for so many years. And I'm amazed how the alcohol didn't ruin her beautiful face. She was one of the luckier ones, but I know lots of the old girls that we used to hang out with that just fell apart. But you're not going to. Why am I rattling on about
I
this?
don't know. I was
Stop me.
I was
I'm
going
on.
to change the channel. I
Yeah,
was going to change the
I'm
topic.
on a Vicodin roll.
So that's funny though. I like it.
Oh, stop me. I'll go on forever.
Oh, now I lost my whole
I don't like
train-
being high.
I lost my whole
I
train
like
of thought.
being in control. Don't you?
Yeah, somewhat.
No, I don't like ever not being in control. I don't like it. I don't like not walking right from alcohol or talking right. And I don't like being with people who don't do it either. You ever get stuck with a drunk at a party who chews your ear off and you want to kill yourself?
I don't let myself get stuck like that.
See,
Good for you. That's good.
I get stuck because they don't let me alone. They follow me.
It's the drugs.
As I'm
runs.
walking away, they're still talking.
So I want to go back. So first of all, I want to know how is doing my chauffeur with Sam Jones cool? Because like I'm a big Sam Jones fan.
Me too.
Oh my God.
Flash Gordon.
He's my favorite co-star.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he would be mine too. Flash Gordon.
Ron loves Flash Gordon.
I love
He's handsome. He's talented. He's genuine. He's authentic, and he's a gentleman.
There you go.
I've heard all those things
That's
about
my
him.
light, because the lighting behind me is now sort of changing, and so I'm looking like a pop art.
You look fabulous.
Now let me
You look
bring that.
fabulous.
There,
So-
a little bit, because the lighting.
No,
behind
it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Good.
No, it's good. I would tell you if it wasn't.
Okay.
No, I mean now that you're making a point of it, but Sam is a a few people that know him have said the same thing about him. I missed or do we ever meet him? Why we missed meeting him, and I was upset about it.
So I have another question then, because we just had Brian Bonsall on. I don't know if you know who that is, but Brian Bonsall was played Michael J. Fox's little brother on Family Ties for many years. He was like the little teeny kid, and you were in an episode of Family Ties. Was Brian Bonsall on it then, or were you on it before he was born? Because he was like the little brother.
Yeah, it was before he was born.
Okay. What did you do on Family Ties? Were you like Michael J. Fox's date on one of the episodes?
No, I played a Catholic schoolgirl.
With pearls.
With pearls, yeah.
The Vistal Virgin.
It was a scene. It was a scene with me and two others, and we were all Catholic schoolgirls at some kind of a tournament, and we were very smart, and we were competing against Michael J. Fox and his team of people, and we kept hitting the buzzer. We were very smart, girls. It was funny. It was fun to do.
I bet. And I told him that we had you coming on and you were on an episode, but I think he was 3 when he started on the show. He was like a really little kid, so he doesn't remember. He was a huge child star, but he was really fun and a lot of fun. Now he's like a punk rock, band guy, and he's raising his kid at home, and it was a lot of fun. But we told him that we had you coming on, and I think the whole thing makes it fat. So you guys, some of the others, because you were on like basically every TV series, Hot Pursuit, T.J. Hooker, MacGyver. Those were all the like really like big ones that you did besides doing all the movies. So do you watch horror movies? Because you're in a ton of really big horror movies. Do you like horror movies, or that's what you got cast?
Since the age of 9, I've been watching horror films. I mean, Frankenstein and the Werewolf and the Mummy and Dracula were my favorite black and whites to watch at age 9. So
that's awesome.
I'm still thrilled to, participate in sci-fi and horror, because that's what makes my juice just roll, just fire up. So I love going to those places that horror films take you to.
I love that.
I'm in them.
He's in them too. Yeah, so he's
I'm in them.
them.
I do them all the time. I don't watch them because I don't like them. I don't like horror movies, and I certainly don't like blood and guts and
I
eyeballs
love
falling
them.
out.
I love it.
It's not my kind of. It's not
So
my
wait,
kind of
So,
entertainment.
what are some of your favorite horror franchises besides like the black and white? So, if you're going to color, Like, what are some of the? What are some?
Hammer films were my favorites.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, sorry, the dog just was going. What is someone coming in? What?
What kind of dog do you have?
She is Katie. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll show you in just a sec.
She's little.
Come here.
Maybe we could fix her up with Astro.
Yeah, we can. Oh, hey.
Oh, look,
yeah.
Astro, a girlfriend. Look
This
at
is
the
Jade.
screen. Astro, look at
She's so cute.
Look at
Hi.
the screen, a girlfriend.
Now, is that a
Astro.
rescue or did you get
Yes,
it?
she's a rescue, and she's poodle, and she is Chihuahua, and she's white Swiss Shepherd because I had her DNA done.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she's 12-ish, aren't you? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Her name is Jade, and she's my sweetheart.
Hi, Jade.
Jade, meet Astro.
Yeah, so we have
Astro's
Astro.
cute. He's only 7 pounds.
How much does she weigh?
She
Around.
weighs 10, 12 pounds.
Okay, so that's not too much
Okay,
bigger.
Astro. So you want to go on a date with her?
We have 3 rescues. Astro's a rescue, and we have 2 other ones.
She's
they're
a pretty
too big. They
Astro.
knock everything
She's
down.
a pretty girl, Astro. Look at her. She's pretty.
I love it. I think it's
you could
fabulous.
borrow the car, Astro.
Jimmy, I did post recently on Instagram that I had an announcement, and I'm happy to announce it here.
Oh, good. I would like to hear
What
it.
are you
I saw it.
announcing?
She's gonna.
Okay,
It's something
so-
that everybody on Instagram's waiting to hear. Go, tell us.
A week ago, I booked a film, and it's going to shoot in spring of 2022 in Arizona and New Mexico, and it's a sci-fi film, an alien abduction film, and I play the aunt to the lead girl. I can't say who's going to be that yet because those deals have not been put in place
Right.
yet. I do kind of know who's going to be getting it, and so then her daughter gets abducted, and we go on this. We have to find out where she. Just go through all these ideas and avenues of trying to get her daughter back. So, and it's from the perspective of the mom, just like what was that one that Spielberg did, his sci-fi one? Yeah, it's the third kind.
Oh yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
So there you go. And it was never told from the perspective of the mother. So this is going to be told from the perspective of the mother.
Yay!
Oh,
Congratulations.
that's good.
Ron wants to be in an alien movie.
Well, you know why? Because I told everybody 5 or 6 years ago, I said, enough with the guys coming out with masks and stabbing and we've got to do alien films, outer space films. They were very big in the 50s. And I predicted, I said it's going to start happening. And now there are more scripts floating around for this kind of film. I am dying to play in one.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be so happy to play in a alien film.
I told him he has to write one, so then we can go out and get the
I
funding
think
for
I
it.
might write one because I have ideas of aliens. I believe that they came to this planet millions of years ago and they started the human race. And that's why Asian people are actually alien people. Because if you look at the alien and the Asian, there's a great similarity. And my very dearest friend is Susie Wong.
Su
Wong, and she's Chinese, and I keep telling her, "You look just like an alien. Look at you. You're 5 foot tall. You have slanty eyes. You have pinched nose. So she cracks up laughing, and I would like to write about that. That's what's going on. I won't give away the plot,
Anyway,
then somebody's
don't
going
give
to
away the
steal
plot.
it. But it's
so
going to be
you're
an interesting alien
so
movie.
first thing you
I
have
may
to do
call
is-
on you.
You have to say congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to
Deborah
you.
Foreman. You guys, you heard it here first on the Jimmy Star
And you're
Show
going to
with
love
Ron Russell.
shooting it. It's going to be fun.
Thank
God,
you.
is that-
I look forward to it. I play a conspiracy theorist already, even before this happens to the family. So it's I can't wait.
I have
think
never
it's
worked
fabulous.
with a lot of CGI. Have you?
No, I know that.
That's fun.
Yeah, no.
CGI is fun.
Yeah, because a lot of your movies back in the day, they were practical effects, right?
Yes.
They really
Right.
like did it when they splatted you. You just got
Oh,
splatted.
now they could put you anywhere they want and do whatever, change your face, make you young. I mean, it's amazing what CGI does to the actor now. It
They
does
could
half
put
of our
me-
work.
They could put me in a film without me being there.
That's
Yes.
right. It's amazing that they CGI is half of our work. We don't have to work as hard anymore. But I would love to do that film too. Not that I'm asking for a job, because I have 6 films waiting. I have no time anyway. But seriously, but
So before
I think it's wonderful. I'm
the last
happy
time
for
we
you.
had you on, like Ron's always been an actor, but like I started producing films. I have like 9 different films on my slate now. Do you do indie films too that aren't SAG, or do you only do SAG?
I'll have to. I don't know about what's going to be happening with SAG anyway with this next film I'm going to be doing.
Right.
I know that there's a way that you.
Yeah, there's a way.
It's
I know
it's
there's
low budget.
Well, I have everything going on. I have films.
No,
from,
you're allowed to do now. I understand low budget movies.
It depends.
If you're SAG,
Well,
as long as
there's-
it's a low budget, there's
Yeah.
a thing called low budget SAG.
There's also another avenue that you can take where you can do non-SAG and still do SAG.
Right.
It's legal, and SAG doesn't always peddle that information out for us to know, because they do want us to stay with SAG because of, hey, it's all about money.
Right.
So, but there is a way, and right now I'll find out what's going to be happening with this film in terms of my SAG status, my membership, and stuff like that. But I'm
Just
open.
in general, I want to know, because I've got like I said, I have 9 films in development, and they go from my lowest budget one is under 100,000, and they're going up to about 14 million. So I'm doing all different.
Yeah, but Fran Drescher is
genres.
now the president of SAG. So let's see what she's going to do with it, because she is definitely an indie film fan. So I think she's going to open doors for indie films.
I was trying to find out though if she does them, because then I can put her on the list of actors that I know how to get in contact.
Yeah, well, she
with,
can do
and
it.
that we can-
She just can't be in $1 million indie.
If that got loosened up, there would be so much more work for everyone.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh no, absolutely.
And I mean, I'm working on a set right now with this goddamn mask and all the bullshit they're giving us. I'm furious. I don't have fun. I'm on the set and I have no fun. I want to go home. You can't talk to anybody. You're not allowed to kid around. You can't do risque jokes among each other like we used to do. It's like, okay, you're on, go. Where's your mask?
In Texas, we're not wearing the masks anymore.
Oh, so
See
you're
that?
lucky.
So you can smile on a set. We have one actress. She said, "I'm not wearing a mask. You'll ruin my makeup." I said, "Honey, they'll kick you right off this film in 2 minutes if you don't put that mask on."
It does ruin because it heats up the face here and it breaks down whatever you put on your face. So it's not really good for the mask. Is not good for makeup.
No, not at all.
I wish they would do it here.
I'm going to put you on my list though, because I have a bunch of different movies, and I have all these people come to me because they know that I know how to get in touch with all the celebrities who come on our show, because I book everybody, and we don't go through agents to get them all, And so like I've compiled like a list, and people come to me and say, who do you have, that'll do an indie film for this that fits this role, and I just send the list of like all the guests that have been on the show, and I was like, because if I could get work for you guys, I'm happy to help, any way that I can. We're grateful that you guys come and share your life experiences with us, and so anything that we do, and that way I also have my own list for my own films that I'm working on. And so it's a lot of fun.
Well, I just feel that SAG, SAG doesn't stop you from paying your dues, like. So I think they should be a little kinder and let actors work and earn the money that they're paying in their dues. Don't you think so?
Oh, I think.
How do you pay dues when you're not working?
I don't think it should be so monopolized at all. But
Right,
things are changing anyway. Our world is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years. You just watch. It's gonna change for the better, and we're gonna love what's going to happen.
I'm actually
Well,
working.
let's hope so.
I'm
Let's
filling
hope
out
so.
SAG paperwork now for another one that we're doing though, and they have all kinds of like, if it's a streaming project, there's all kinds of things that you can like pay the actors a lot. There's a lot of ways around things now that I'm learning them all because I had to study everything to get this done. So it's all really good. So you got a new film. That's terrific. You have so many great things. Do you have like what are like, out of all the things that you've done, what are like 1 or 2 of your favorite things? Maybe not the ones you get the most recognized for, but the ones that you either have the most fun, or I don't know, that have a special place in your heart.
Well, the most fun was my Chauffeur, hands down. That one was the most fun I ever had on a film, and it was comedy. It was slapstick comedy. It was very high energy. Sam Jones was beautiful. David Beard, who directed, was beautiful. Stephen Wolf, who was our line producer and is now producing his own films out there in the world, is beautiful. So that is and I love the wardrobe. Let's face it, it's all about the clothes.
Yes.
I loved the clothes that I got to wear in that. I did in Valley Girl too, but my chauffeur, that was a little bit more 1940s, bent. So I liked that a whole lot. Let's see.
Now, where and when could we see My Chauffeur?
You could go to Amazon and you can rent it. So it's on even
How
Valley.
much is the rental?
Probably
$4.
probably $2.99 or $3.99.
Yeah, I have to let our viewers know, because we have a lot of senior citizen viewers who are on limited funds, and they appreciate my doing this because they want to see the movie, but they don't want to pay like $8, $9, and $10. I mean, they have nerve. There's a Betty Davis.
Gets mad because
There's a Betty Davis movie on that is 1943. It's been on commercial television for free forever. And they were asking $8.99 to see it. And I thought, Betty is dead. She's not going to get the money. And I knew her. If she were alive, she would get the money. But it's stupid.
He likes all the Turner Classic movies, and he gets so mad because those are more expensive than the regular movies.
And they're old as the hills, and they've been seen a million times. So I don't know. They have to have some kind of new ruling on this.
Can I tell you something else that happened really cool last week? I mean, super, 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 super cool. I get an email from a friend of mine that is watching the Gotham Awards on a YouTube channel because he couldn't be there, and he lives in New York, and it's just like he couldn't be there. So he goes, "You're not going to believe what just happened." He said, "Peter Dinklage just said something about you and Nicholas in his acceptance speech of this award that he was receiving at the Gotham Awards." And I said, "Did he actually say my name?" Because I'm thinking he just called out Nick and the girl, Julie, He goes, "No, he said your name." And he said, "Okay." So then I had to rush over to YouTube and find the speech. And Peter Dinklage, they showed all the body of his gorgeous. I mean, Peter Dinklage is such a beautiful artist. I can't even say enough about that man. So they showed
super A-list. He's super A-list. So.
And he showed all of his beautiful work. And he goes on, and he's talking about snippets in films that don't feel like acting. And then he says, Nicolas Cage asking Deborah Foreman out, the Valley Girl, on a date in the bathroom. And then he repeats what I said, which is, "Where are we going to go?" And then Peter says what Nick says, "Anywhere." And then I'm still getting tingles, just repeating what he did. That kind of love that someone, I've never met him. I had no clue that he had any kind of a love for Nick or any film that Nick's been in. And I'm just, along for the ride. It's Nick's career at this point. You know what I mean? So for him to even call my name out, it was such a love moment. And I just, I tried to get in touch, but there's no way to get in touch with him. And I'm not going to go through agents because they don't believe you anyway when you call them.
Right, exactly. You're talking about.
He's not in social media now?
You're talking about Nicolas Cage.
No, Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter.
So is Peter Dinklage? He's not on social media at all.
No, he's not at all. I tried. I'm a very good sleuther, and
yeah, I am too, because I usually can find ways to get to people. Okay,
yeah.
I'll look and see if I can find anything.
Contact Nicholas? Maybe he has a contact.
No, him and I, we don't have contact. I mean, if we ran into each other, it's always beautiful to see each other, but we don't have each other's. Yeah, we don't have each other's phone number. Mm-mm.
Oh, it's sad.
I think.
Meanwhile, the critics bomb him. They think he's the worst actor in the world, and I feel sorry for Nicolas Cage because he works all the time. I mean, he's in big multi-million-dollar movies, and then the critics just say he cannot act or he acts the same all the time.
He was great though in Valley Girl. He is actually better in his younger work, maybe, but he works all the time because I've tried to book him on
and he gets
projects.
Big money. Big money, in spite of what the critics do to him. He gets huge money.
He's good for distribution.
His latest work in the past 5 years, you could tell something has happened in his life because he's evolved to another place, and his work has been really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good again.
Yeah, and I know and he's just got booked for Dracula, this Renfield that he's going to be in too, this recently. So, but there is a video out there that he did with the Alamo Drafthouse, and it's about an hour long. It's a one-on-one he did with this host with an audience too. And they sat through 5 of his films that day. All day long, they sat through, and Nick joined and watched all the 5 films too with him. So then they had a Q&A at the very end of it. And that's Nick, who, you guys, it's maybe 4 or 5 years old, Alamo Draft House, I think, and he's wearing a orangey leather jacket with gray pants, and he's standing in the whole interview. So that's kind of gives you a little bit when you find it. But that's Nick, who I met when I was 19, almost turning 20, when I did Valley Girl. He's so lovely, you guys. He's you could tell the man is an artist, and he's thoughtful, and he thinks things through. And all this tabloid baloney that they've built him up to be, it's just a myth.
Love it.
Yeah, maybe they've caught him drunk a few times on camera, and it's too bad that the camera is there at that moment. But he's a lovely man, and it shows in this video when he's talking with the host. I mean,
I have a friend who's worked with him a lot, and they said he's really great.
Well, he has to be nice. He's Italian. I'm Italian too.
No, hang on, you guys. We have only a minute left. So, you guys, Deborah's Instagram is Deborah L. Foreman, DeborahL, the letter L, Foreman, Foreman. Follow her on Instagram. Check out all her stuff. She'll have a new movie. So when the new movie comes out, we'll bring her back so we can promote her in the new film that she's in. She's fabulous. We want to thank you for coming on. I'm so happy you moved out of Big Bear and that you're now.
Well, not really. If
Texas.
she was still in Big Bear, we could have gone and visit her.
That's true, but we'll go to Texas and visit
I just
her.
want to say something before we go off. Everyone, please forgive me for not being myself, but I'm medicated. I'm in pain. So if I haven't been my jolly, talkable, crazy self,
they all say in the chat room, bring her back. They're all following you on. They want to follow you on Instagram.
You made up for my disability. You're so lovely and charming, and a light in everyone's life.
I would have never known that you are in discomfort. I think that
I am in such pain right now, I could cry. I'm not lying. My rotor cuff and my wrist are burning and killing me. And I think it's medication time again.
So we got to go, though. So, Deborah, congratulations on Peter Dinklage.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the new film. And I'm going to see if we can get you involved in some stuff. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. And we'll see you soon. And we'll see you on Instagram.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.
Yes. Bye. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're not going to be here next week because Ron and I are on set for the new film we're doing with Sadie Katz, but we will return the Wednesday before Christmas for our Christmas show. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to invite some great people to come and join us. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you next week. No, we won't.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.